Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I'd like to thank my guest, the wonderfully talented Chris from the Sound That Ends Creation. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here. Thanks
Oh,
for having me.
thank you for coming on, man. I really enjoy your podcast. I've actually been binge watching it slowly. So the last day or two, I've been like really on it, just kind of checking out the podcast. And I recommend to all the listeners that are joining us to check out his podcast because it's actually really freaking good.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. So, you are my very first podcaster to come on the show. You are actually my very first. I guess you would consider yourself mathcore, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Mathgrind, but
Mathgrind,
yeah. In the math realm.
Yeah, in the math realm. For the listeners, I know what grind, mathcore, typically like what the genre represents and everything like that. But for our listeners, how would you explain mathcore?
So I guess it's hardcore-esque music put to odd time signatures. I guess is just like the rule, really, but that's the only rule. Like you could literally do anything. It's crazy what some people put out.
Yeah,
like look at my stuff, for instance.
Yeah, your stuff is definitely that chaotic sense is there, and I love it. So basically, you can kind of say in a sense, not typically like it's the definite, but it's like progressive, but chaotic. Like progressive music meets chaos, and it's just like boom, it's in your face.
Yeah. I was just trying to make it as intense as possible.
Exactly.
Trying to break some boundaries,
Yeah, and breaking boundaries is probably the best thing anybody can do in music, and I feel that you have accomplished that. You started back in 2016 as your first album, correct?
Yes. Yeah. 2016.
And I honestly can say I've seen the growth and the maturity from your music just fucking blow up, because the first album was like, I think the first thing I listened to. And then I slowly, then I came to reviewing the Memes, Dreams, and Flying Machines, which I absolutely love the name. And the first album, what was that one? That one, We Are the Burden?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I listened to that one. I didn't even have a single complaint, like at all. Like, and usually I kind of try to critique a little hard just because I feel like if you just love a band, every band that you review, you kind of just lose that,
credibility.
Yeah, basically. And I couldn't find, like, besides the fact that you could definitely tell it was your first, like, for the band.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
album.
The audio, like the actual recording sounds like garbage, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what though? It gives it that character though. So We Are the Burden definitely set the bar, and with Fitting and Roses, you kind of just exceeded that bar each time. And with Memes, I absolutely 18 minutes was not enough for that album, in my opinion. That was my only complaint. Like literally, oh my God, why is it done? And I know that the premise of mathcore is as chaotic and fast as you possibly can, get it in your face, push the boundaries. But the songs are typically on the lower end with length wise.
Yeah, it depends who you listen to, but yeah, like the grindier ones are definitely shorter. It's just there's so much going on, like you don't want to overwhelm somebody. You want them to always be thinking, oh, I wish there was more to this, rather than like, oh my God, is this ever going to end, kind of thing, you know what I mean? And there's like 1,000 things going on. Like you could listen to this repeatedly and find something new, is the hope anyway.
Exactly. And I think that's what kind of happened. So this morning, I typically like to put my albums on, or not my albums, your guys' albums on, right before the podcast, just to give me that fresh reminder of what I'm coming into. And I think I found a new favorite song. I'm not sure which one when I reviewed the album, which one I said was my favorite, but Can I Be Aborted Even Though I'm 29? Fucking amazing. The vocal aspect about it. I myself am a vocalist, and your screams were just like crazy, like fried, and like then when you go into the singing style of like almost mocking like vocalist, like singing vocals, it gave me this like huge grin on my face, and I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, like this is so sweet. So definitely one of my favorite songs of the album.
Yeah, when I was pitching this to like record labels and people to review and stuff, when I was describing the album, I was saying that what I wanted to do was for anyone that would listen to this would be like, "What the hell's going on?" while they're smiling from ear to ear, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad that that's what you got out of it.
Yeah, definitely. It was almost like humorous. Like you have this chaotic. I keep saying chaotic because as listeners, if you guys never heard of any type of grind or mathcore, you have to, like, that's like your only definition. It's chaotic, and it's a beautiful chaos, is what it is. And I just couldn't help but laugh as soon as you came in. It's not like I'm laughing at you. It was laughing because it was like, this dude is you have such a unique style about you that you're able to do these different types of screams and singing vocals and stuff like that, where it sets you off. Like, you're different. You are definitely different in the aspect of grind. You really are. And
That's the plan.
yeah, and that is definitely the plan for every artist out there, is to be different and to be how can I do something that nobody else has ever done. And I feel like, yes, you are in the realm of what other people have done, but you've done it so well that it sets you apart, basically. And I feel that which we will get into, your next EP, I got to listen to it, and I don't even know what to say, dude. Like it was so good. It was better than memes. And it's an EP, better than a full length album, and it's crazy, crazy, crazy. So, Mathcore is such a unique beast. Like, how the hell did you get into that, and how did you tackle like such a crazy genre?
Well, so people probably know that the heyday for this genre was like 2005 to 2010, something like that. And that was when I was in high school, but I just wanted to distance myself from that as much as possible, because all the fans and their skinny jeans and their keys on their carabiner, and I just I don't know, I was metal elitist, so like I didn't want to associate with those kind of people. So I just didn't listen to it. Was too busy listening to Bathory and Cannibal Corpse and wondering why I wasn't getting laid. And like about back in 2016, I realized that a lot of extreme metal's kind of similar. A lot of tech death and black and death and stuff. It's all basically the same sounding to me, anyways. And so I was like, what were those kids listening to back in the day? What was that all about? And so I picked up See You Next Tuesday. I listened to See You Next Tuesday on YouTube, the album Parasite, and I was just like, holy shit, this is what I want to do, man. This is like it. And then that just led me down the rabbit hole to listening to Daughters and Number 12 Looks Like You and stuff. And that's where it came from.
The Number 12 Looks Like You is probably one of the greatest bands to ever come out. And See You Next Tuesday is just right there with them. But so I graduated in 2007, and what was big then was Waking the Cadaver. I don't know if you've ever heard of Waking.
Yes, Shredded Wheat.
Yeah, Shredded Wheat. Yeah, the biggest meme band out there. And honestly, that was like my first influence into grind. And then I started listening to the Number 12 Looks Like You, and I couldn't like agree more. Like, that is the best like band to listen to sprout this inner mathcore / Mathgrind in you, so that's awesome that you chose, to listen to those specific bands. You have such like a jazz like big band vibe in a lot of tracks that you do. So is jazz really inspired? Like, has it like inspired you, or was it just the sound of mixing grind with jazz? Like, was that like your, I don't know, goal or anything like that?
Yeah, I wanted this to be, before I started, I had set out to want this to be Daughters Canada sounds with horns.
Yeah.
And so I was like looking around for bands that sounded like that, and I came across this one called Lefty Fish. This is before I knew that there were bands actually doing this kind of thing. But there's this band out of, I want to say, Indonesia, and they're called Lefty Fish. Put out an album called Hello Kitty Spank. and it's essentially jazz really fast, and with a distorted guitar and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's grindcore, but like straight up jazz. And I was like, man, I want to do this. Like, and so yeah, that's basically where the idea came from, but make it a little more extreme.
Yeah, exactly. And you get that definitely from your album. I actually really like the jazzy parts. I think that's, I mean, like you said, other bands are doing that and stuff like that, but I think that's what really sets you apart, because you did every single thing on this album, right? Was it all you, or did you have someone come in and kind of help you?
So I play guitar, bass, and vocals. Everything else is programmed. I mean, I do the programming,
Yeah.
but I don't play like piano or saxophone or anything like that. Like it's all programmed.
But still, like, you made it almost authentic. Like, I'm not even joking. If you would have never said that you programmed it, I would have thought, oh, he had some pretty badass. Either A, he's a musical genius and he plays everything, or B, he had some people come in. So that's pretty awesome that you programmed it, because drum wise, you can definitely tell on some songs that it's programmed. But I think that's the whole aspect of grind, really, for people that don't have drummers. A lot of their programming, it just, you could tell. And
yeah. Well, most albums these days are programmed drums, even
exactly.
if they have an actual drummer. So
Yeah, and especially like with the times now, it's kind of hard to get everybody together, and jam out an album. Really is. But I honestly prefer programmed drums, in my opinion, because nobody really ever gets the acoustic drums right if you're not a huge band.
yeah. It would cost a lot to record them. You need like 1,000 different microphones.
Exactly. Yeah, 1,000 different microphones, and you have to know all this knowledge of where to place them and everything. And I just feel like programmed drums, you have that, I don't know, like just really superb control. And you have to have that type of control with grind because of the time consistencies. You guys go fucking nuts. I've never heard, besides progressive like prog rock and shit, I've never really heard time signatures change so much, and just out of nowhere, like you could be doing like your jazzy, fills, and out of nowhere, like it's fucking nuts. Like, so you have to have that definite control. So how do you even start like writing a song?
So let me see here. So I'll come up with like an idea as I'm like walking around or whatever, and I make the guitar sounds into my phone to save for later. So I have like whatever you call it, the voice notes or whatever. It's just filled up with me doing things like that kind of thing, right?
Yes, perfect.
And whenever I get a chance, generally after I've been fairly caffeinated, I'll sit down and take those and try to turn them into real riffs and make a couple of scratch tracks. This time around, I think I wrote like 56 songs, something like that. And then you cut them down to like what the good ones are. You kind of chop up the bad ones and stuff like that and sew things together, And then I came up with like, I don't know, I think it was like 22, 25. And from there, I added on, I did actual recordings of the guitars and the bass, and then threw drums on there. And you just slowly whittle it down till you get to where you are. But yeah, whenever I'm like actually writing out the song, it's just things that pop into my head. Like I might have like an idea of like, I want to do this specific thing, but it all just kind of flows out of my brain. Like I'm not thinking, oh, we'll do like a 7/8 time signature here and then, go back to 4/4 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like what happens.
So there's like no definitive direction. You just kind of let your mind explode and just be like, yep, that's what I want. So
yeah, exactly.
You know what? That's super interesting too, because there's a lot of bands out there that take the time to process and lay everything out, and everything has to be pristine and perfect and everything. And that's the beauty of your genre, is you don't have to do shit like that. You don't have to sit there and methodically think something out. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're still methodically thinking shit out, because I couldn't play half the shit that you play on on these tracks. Like, there's no way. I play guitar as well, and I don't even know how to sweep. So, I mean, I guess that shows how good I am. But like, you don't have to sit there and have this definitive plan. You get to have fun and really just bang out some fucking crazy ass tunes.
Hell yeah, no rules. That's the best kind of music.
Yeah, that you know what? I like that. I like that. No fucking rules, because that's it, especially with metal. That's where it's supposed to be, anyways. Metal was supposed to represent fuck the rules. So I mean, can't even get any better than that. You couldn't even said it better than that. So your band name, how did you go along creating that? Like what gave you the inspiration for that?
So there was this band called Society One, like way back in the day. They released an album called The Sound That Ends Creation, and I just saw that name and I was like, I want to make a band with this name on it. And like back in high school, and so it's just been floating around in my head, but I haven't like had a project that could really fit that. And I was just like, hey, this fits. That's really it.
And it does too. You know it. When I saw the band, when I saw your the 2020 album, when I saw that pop up, because I can't remember how we connected. I don't remember if you approached me or if I approached you. But either way, when I went on Spotify to find your music, the album art really caught me. Like I love the album art of the memes album, and then when I looked at the name, I was just like, God, that just rolls off the tongue. So it's definitely a badass name. So I'm glad that you saw that and took it, because I honestly couldn't think of a better name for the style. Like I wouldn't be able to think of a name for Grindcore for the life of me, like ever. So that's pretty awesome. That's a unique story on how that name came about. So with the band name, we got that. How the hell do you write your names? Oh, hold on one second. I don't know if you can hear them.
I do. Yeah. I hear it.
Damn these people, man. I mean, thank you for saving lives, but Jesus. Okay, so we got through with the band name. One thing that interests me the most is the name of your songs. So take us through that process. How the hell do you come up with some of the wackiest names I've ever seen on tracks?
So I hate writing lyrics. I wrote these while I was in quarantine, and I hadn't watched Rick and Morty previously to this, and I discovered them. So I saw the entire series like 7 times, and that's where a lot of the lyrical inspiration comes from. I even lift like specific phrases and stuff from the show. And yeah, the names of the songs in particular, I think, yeah, the majority of them are like jokes and stuff. I found a lot of that stuff online, and some of the stuff was again lifted from Rick and Morty. And so yeah, I can't claim ownership of all of the names or whatever, but yeah, like that's where a lot of it comes from, is just stupid jokes on the internet.
Yeah, it's just
Rick and Morty.
whatever you well that's almost like kind of perfect, because it kind of like comes off as, hey, this is what I like, you know. So you're creating what you like, you might as well name it what you like as well. So that's pretty funny, because I think out of all the names, and I'm looking at the list right now, Slurping Up That Ice Cream Baby is probably the funniest fucking name I've heard for a song ever. Like, so that was great. When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't help but just like listen to that song constantly too, because I was just like, I want to know what this song's about, you know. And that's another thing, is like, how, since you hate to write lyrics, what are your lyrics typically about? Is it just like a chaotic mess, or is it just like stuff that you've gone through in life? Like, how do you write them?
So I guess it's based on like what I'm watching on TV at the time, man. Honestly, yeah, I really like the whole, I guess, feeling, I guess, from Rick and Morty. You know, their psychology or whatever. How like we're all gonna die, and nothing matters, but you know, just do whatever because it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what a lot of this album is, you know, dealing with stuff like that. You know.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Slurping Up That Ice Cream in particular is like how we don't really see all the shit that our leaders and stuff do, because they're distracting us with this ice cream, which is really shit. And so you're slurping up the ice cream. And, yeah, and that's actually a phrase lifted from Rick and Morty, was the slurping up the ice cream. So
well, that's fucking awesome, because you're mixing comedic with almost like a politic side, I guess. And that right there in its own can create something for people to be like, okay, it has a funny ass meaning, but I mean a name, but the meaning is so fucking solid. So that's pretty awesome. Now, 2016 was interesting because that's definitely when you made your mark with the Thesoundthatendscreation. Did you expect to continue to make albums after that, or continue writing all the way to 2020? I mean, I know it's only 4 years. What shit? I can't do math. 4 years, but did you expect to continue doing this?
Nah, I was just gonna do this one, and there wasn't a community really at the time. Mathcore Index, I think, started shortly after that, and they're really the ones that brought it all together. So yeah, I was like looking for places to promote it and stuff, and it didn't really exist. The genre was pretty much dead, so I was just like, yeah, I'll throw this out there, see what happens, and then I discovered Mathcore Index and got better at recording, and thought, let's just throw out another one and see what happens. But that'll be the end of it. And each time it's been like, oh, that'll be the end of it. But now I definitely want to, keep doing this for a long time.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you for showing me Mathcore Index, because I had never like heard of Mathcore Index, and when I went on the YouTube channel, I was like, this list of fucking talent. I was like, oh my god, like yes. So I definitely appreciate that, because I don't think I would ever found. I honestly would have never really listened to Mathcore that much if it wasn't for your band. So, or Mathgrind.
I appreciate it.
No, I highly recommend the listeners to definitely take the time to just check out Mathcore and Mathgrind and stuff like that. It takes a lot for people to listen to this, but it takes it once you get to it, and once you like kind of listen to it over and over, it's almost in a weird fucking way calming. It really is. It's so weird. Like,
I guess.
No, to me, it's like I to listen to your album at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, like full blast.
Basically a cup of coffee right there.
Exactly, full blast. And for me, I drink coffee all day long. I honestly didn't even start my day with coffee, because as soon as I put that on, I was like, oh shit, okay, here we go. Then we started doing shit, So to me, it brings calming, but that's just metal in general. I've been around the metal scene for fucking forever, so it's like any type of metal kind of calms me. But if you guys have not taken the time to listen to Grindcore, listen to Mathcore, listen to fucking Mathgrind, which the subgenres go on and on and on, do me a favor and listen, because I highly recommend it. It's definitely the type of chaos that you'll love. And with that, I think I need to move my screen, because I keep looking over here and my screen is way too damn far. I need to move it over here. But I think Mathcore is honestly quite beautiful and calming, which is insane for some people to hear, because it's not supposed to be calming. But what other genres would you say kind of influenced you?
I'm a big fan of the oldies, like 40s and 50s, like top 20. It's the shit, man.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs is oh my god, I forgot the name of it. You Lost That Love and Feeling by the Righteous Brothers.
Oh, okay.
It's so good. And it's like this, stupid pop song from back in the day. But yeah, I love all the old stuff. I'm a huge fan of the Beatles, the Beach Boys, things like that. And that's actually where like the crooning and stuff that I do comes from. I guess singing, whatever you want to call it. Trying to do like kind of fucked up Frank Sinatra, I guess.
Which I absolutely enjoy. I fucking
I don't know why people like it.
No, it's good. It's perfect for your style. Like I cannot express that more. I think my favorite part of the whole fucking thing is when you sing. Like you're screaming. Okay, so vocally I've been screaming for about 15 to 17 years. Your screams, your fries are fucking incredible. You don't crack. And for me, as soon as I get into the fries, I start cracking, and my gutturals and everything will be affected afterwards and stuff like that. But your frying, like vocals, are almost pristine. So for me to like the singing more is like, I'm telling you, it's good. It's definitely good.
Oh, I appreciate it. But yeah, all that stuff comes from like the oldies. It's what I was raised on. What I was raised on. And yeah, it's just nostalgia,
It's crazy to me how people like yourself and myself and a lot of people I've had on here, the influences that we have totally don't match what we create. And I think that's a good thing, honestly, because it shows that you're the type of musician that thinks outside of the box. You're not confined to one genre. And listeners need to understand that as well. You shouldn't be confined to like one specific thing, because you're kind of limiting yourself, really. And
Yeah.
and like I know you said Cannibal Corpse. You used to listen to that, or do you still listen to Cannibal?
I haven't in a long time.
Haven't. Okay.
But
They're
cool.
I just got back into them just because I found their DVD that's like 8 hours long on YouTube.
Yeah. Centuries of Torment or something.
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, something like that. And I'm slowly getting through it, and just hearing the old stories and the old bands and stuff like that, I kind of took a step back and started listening to them again. But you definitely have to step outside the box. So that's awesome that you do listen to other things other than just what you create, because I feel like to a certain point you kind of get stuck in the writing process if you did that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what led to all this. Actually, just listening to the same Tech Death and Black and Death all over and over again.
Yeah, and so with that, I feel that you could honestly take this on the road. I don't know if you have.
I do too.
It's awesome. Okay, that's what
I haven't yet, but obviously shit's going down. But
yeah.
I really want to.
I've seen Sky Eats Airplane when they didn't have a drummer. I don't know if they still don't have a drummer. And
it was a full lineup at the end, but yeah, I saw them like that too. Where it's just a 2-piece.
Yeah, and it was fucking
like they actually came up around here. I saw like one of their first shows.
Oh, sweet. Okay,
cool.
so for them, it worked, and I feel like for you, a lot of artists now are because unfortunately, and I know I'm kind of switching topics here, but unfortunately, you can't trust other band members anymore. Like to a certain point, you have these dreams and aspirations and you work hard for it, but say your bass player just wants to bang chicks and get drunk, like, but he's good. It's like, where do you go? Do you either kick his ass out and do it all your own and definitely nail what you're trying to do, or allow this person in? So I feel like you definitely can take this on the road and tour with some of the biggest grind bands out there and match their energy. So
well, I hope so. I've done one man shows before. I feel like I have a pretty good stage presence, but it's still just one guy up there. You know what I mean? So you need to have, like, I don't know, something else to bring up energy too. And I got a couple ideas floating around.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ideas for bands out there that do the one man thing and are in the metal scene is some sort of video playing in the background.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I think that right there, as long as you have a story playing in the background, you playing in front of it, I mean, shit, possibilities are endless. They really are. So.
Well, there's also people like Putrid Pile that just take a guitar and go up on the stage and stand in front of a microphone. I guess it works for him. I mean, he's like headlining festivals and stuff. So,
you know what? I've never heard of them, so I'm definitely gonna. It's only one guy.
Yeah, only one dude in the guitar. There's also Blood Soaked. These are like, I guess you'd call them old school death metal sounding, sort of. It's something like that. It's kind of like Cannibal Corpse type of stuff. Okay. There was another guy too that was he had a project called Insidious Decrepancy, and actually seeing him is what made me want to do a one-man project.
Nice.
He's not around anymore, but yeah, Insidious Decrepancy is the shit.
I'll definitely check those guys out too, because I like to broaden my music like horizon. I mean, I don't know if you've kind of seen like what I've posted on my Instagram. I've gone from Ariana Grande to the most nastiest metal you could freaking listen to. So I
saw you got quite a range.
Yeah. My range is definitely huge. I try to listen to everybody. I tried to make it as fair to everybody, because it's only going to make me happier to have more and more music in my brain, basically, because that's what I kind of live for, is music. Music is definitely saved my life, for one, and then also has kept me on the straight and narrow. Back in the day, I dabbled, like especially high school, I was dabbling in all kinds of shit that get you in trouble. And once I found music, I was just like, yeah, there's more to life than just getting fucking in trouble all the time. So, we talked about your music career, which in my opinion, is in its infancy because I feel you have so much more to bring. That's the only reason why I say infancy. I feel like you have.
I would agree with that, by the way.
Oh,
I would
cool,
100%
cool.
agree. Yeah.
I feel like we're definitely going to hear you a whole lot more, and I'm interested. Especially, I cannot express, and he's going to definitely talk about it, listeners, in a second. I cannot express how good this EP is. Like, I've said it before. I've changed my mind so many times on bands where I'm like, oh, this is my new favorite. Oh, this is my new favorite. I could honestly say in your genre, this is the top shit to come out. And
come on.
no, I'm serious. And I'm not trying to like fucking make your head explode or anything like that. It's, I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. You sent it to me and what was I doing? I think I was like about to take a shower and I couldn't even do that. I had to sit there and fucking listen first. So I'm sitting there fucking in the fucking bathroom with my fucking phone in my ear like this. And I'm just like, okay. And it's just getting better and better. And you know, how many tracks are on this EP that it's coming?
4.
4. Okay. That's right. For some reason I had in my brain 5. If you guys listen to Memes, Dreams, and Flying Machines and think that you were cheated out by not more tracks, this one's definitely going to fuck with you because it needed to be bigger. My only complaint, and which was the same complaint for Memes, Dreams, is I needed more, man. And it sucks because it's like, I know what you're doing. You're putting out this little EP, you know, you're getting, I'm sure you're getting ready for another album, correct?
Yeah, I want to start writing pretty soon.
Yeah, and I feel like these teasers are almost too much. Like, you better fucking give us a goddamn album already. So, and that's just I am fanning out a little bit here because I really do respect your career. I really do love the albums everything that you've put out so far. So, you guys can definitely, listeners, I'm going to be putting out a playlist on Spotify, and I think you and one other band have like 2 or 3 tracks on it. I typically only want
nice.
one at a time, but I couldn't choose, so I think I did 2 or 3. So pretty soon, yeah, no problem. Pretty soon I will have that out. But let's plug this EP because I want to start talking about your podcast. I want to get that, you know, let's talk about that separately. So go ahead, just tell us about this EP.
Yeah, it's called Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. That's Home Alone 2 plug if you weren't familiar. We've got Jingle Bells, Walking Through a Winter Wonderland, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Deck the Halls on there. They're all Christmas songs, if you hadn't noticed. But yeah, this time around, I was trying to focus more on like instrument separation. My last album, there's like all these different sounds, but a lot of them are moving together. Mm-hmm. And like I figure the next step is to have them all doing pretty separate things. It's not how it is the whole time, but for a lot of it, that's what I was trying to aim for.
Yeah, you could definitely hear it, and that's why I said it's like you're continuously growing, and I feel like especially in your genre, it's very limitless, you know. So you're able to do a lot with what you have. So I highly suggest. When does it drop?
It's going to be the 4th.
The 4th. Okay.
December 4th.
I highly suggest, and I cannot express this more, do go and check this fucking EP out on the 4th. It is going to explode your mind. I'm 100% behind this EP. So with the EP, your music career and everything, you also have an astounding podcast. And I take a little bit from what you know, like I told you before, I think before we started talking on the podcast, I take a little bit from what you have. I take a little bit from what everybody has because everybody learns from everybody. But the one thing is your ability to keep the podcast on a steady flow of conversation. I highly fucking like recommend you guys check it out because you keep that flow really, really, really fucking well. So what got you into even podcasting? Is it just the music itself?
So when I was getting into mathcore, there was this guy actually doing that stuff. It wasn't like immediately. I think he started in like 2018, something like that. It was a podcast called Sheep's Clothing.
Hmm.
Not a lot of people know about it, but he was interviewing like the old dead bands from back in the day, and that's really what like got me in like to know what bands to look for in the genre. So like yeah, that I thought what he was doing was great. He did it for like about 2 years and then just stopped. And I was like, man, if he just kept going, like, this would have been a huge thing. So
Yeah.
I figured I would just like pick up that slack, and start interviewing like the newer bands and trying to get them like, a, I guess, soapbox to stand on or whatever. I feel like if you know the band's personality, you're more likely to engage in like the music and stuff
Exactly.
rather than just go
Exactly.
to the side.
Yeah, and that's like a big proponent of mine is I really feel like people need to know who the artist is in order to really appreciate the music. And that's kind of where my platform is I'm here for you guys. I mean, obviously I get to do this for the fun of music. I mean, that's basically, this is a hobby, for me. And uh, I feel like platforms like mine and yours is a perfect, what'd you say, soapbox to stand on, because nobody's going to give these guys the shot. I
Yeah.
feel it. They really aren't. And it's sad to see that. It's sad to be a part of that, because I feel that they're missing out. I feel like most metal, especially extreme metal, should have you on that podcast already. Your band should have already been on some sort of Sirius XM fucking radio show. It should have been.
I appreciate that,
No,
man.
I
Yeah, I some of the bands I've talked to, they said that they've talked to like reps and stuff like that for
mhm.
like record labels, and they would tell them that they wish that they were more like marketable, like a deathcore thing or metalcore or whatever, more straightforward, because that's like what's hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like to that I'm saying we're just about to explode.
Mhm.
Like you already saw like Callous Cowboys like blow up.
Yeah.
And then like bands like Sleep Sculptor, like you can see like how you can I guess cross pollinate genres and how you could take people from like one community and then they bring them into like mathcore in general. And you know what I'm saying? You're pulling from all these different communities. And eventually we're just gonna blow up. It's like
Yeah.
this is the ground floor right now.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I feel that black metal is definitely going to come back. I mean, it's already here, but I feel like it's going to make a big comeback. I feel grindcore is on its rise. It definitely is. It hasn't been bigger than what it is right now, and I feel like it's sky's the limit. It's still going up higher. Um, I'm new to mathcore relatively. I've heard of it. I've listened to bands and stuff like that, but I haven't like delved deep into it. So for me, I feel like exactly like what you said. This is definitely ground level, and you can't get any lower than ground level. So fucking mathcore is going to blow up, and they're going to regret it. They're going to regret it highly when all these independent artists and bands are in underground labels making fucking bank just from CD sales and merch sales and shit like that. Because for metal, merch is like the most important thing, because I feel like the merch is so diverse and amazing looking. Like I would like your fucking merch on your shit. Have you like just recently started your merch, or did you?
Oh no, ever since fitting through the crawl space I've been doing like a shirt per album.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna be doing that a little more frequently.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I
yeah.
suggest that, because I that's the one thing about myself is I wish I made tons of money, because oh my fucking god, I'd own every single one of these. Everybody that's been on my show, I'd own like at least every one of your guys' shirts. I cannot wait to start being able to do that shit. So that's like my main goal. Fuck like living. I want to fucking buy merch. So your podcast is definitely one of my favorites. You've had Plastic Bag Face Mask, you've had Juan Bond, you've had uh crypto
Cryptodira.
crypto deer. I
Cryptodira.
couldn't say the name for the life of me. And you
I couldn't
also
at first either.
you also have the Arson Choir, if I'm
Uh-huh.
saying that correctly. I'm excited to get to that. I also get to interview them hopefully soon. We'll see how everything goes. You know, sometimes people's plans change and stuff, but how was it interviewing these bands? These bands are fucking top tier, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been great. Having a lot of fun. Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
just having a lot of fun.
yeah, basically, and that's the best thing about podcasts is that's like should be your main goal is have fun, make the person feel comfortable. You know, just talk, shoot. What's it? Shoot the breeze, I guess is what the fucking
Yeah.
saying is or something. But hopefully one day I can get. I mean, I've had some pretty interesting people come on. I've had some really amazing artists come on. I think Plastic Bag Face Mask. Are they from Fresno, California?
I think so. I think it's somewhere in California.
I think I opened for them once. I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not. I'm not 100% sure.
What was your old band?
Death to the Archetype.
Okay.
We super old. Never really had anything out. Like we had a MySpace and we had some pretty good shit on there, but never. We were the type of artists that fucking. We played a big show. We headlined A Plea for Purging because they fucked up, and A Plea for Purging ended up playing before us, and we're like, we're the headliners. Like, what the? We're a fucking band from the next town over. Like, what's going on? So, yeah, Fresno area. I know a lot of bands out there and stuff, but for some reason, I feel like I've seen that name before. Definitely.
Yeah, they did used to play shows back in the day, so it's possible.
Yeah, so that was really interesting to see, like, if it is true, like, or if it is like the band that we opened for or played with. That's pretty awesome to see them on like a show like yours. So it was cool to see that. Now a big question. This is like probably a hard question to answer. What comes first, music or podcast?
What do you mean exactly?
What comes first to you in your future? Do you think that your future is more in the podcast scene, or do you feel like it's more in the band scene, or do you feel like it's both?
I feel like it's definitely both. I mean, neither is gonna like get me super rich or whatever, but the idea is long term in the future, it'd be small income streams from a bunch of different areas that would come together, and it's not like one precludes the other, like me giving attention to the other. You know what I mean?
So you're pretty leveled out, basically. You have a balance when it comes to your music and your podcast.
Yeah. I have kind of a set schedule for my week or whatever. So
I wish I wasn't so. I wish I could do that. I can't. I cannot dedicate time to two things. I have to just focus on one because I'm the type of guy that's like, oh, something shiny, like that's me. So my attention span is very fucking chaotic and out of whack. So I applaud you for that, because I was kind of wondering, like, okay, well, if his music career hella kicks off, like, are you going to stop the podcast, or are you going to continue doing it?
Well, like for instance, one of the ideas I had was whenever I go on tour eventually, at some point, hopefully, I would do like an interview with one of the bands on the bill like every night. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like have like a, like an hour every day of like talking with some of the bands. So like, there's ways that the things can mix.
That's cool. See, that's. Man, I wish I could do that. I can't think of the future like that. I cannot think of the future like that. So that's awesome. All right. So we had a wonderful conversation today, and basically we went over a lot of shit. We went over your music career extensively. And like I said, man, I'm super proud to have you on here. I'm super honored, I guess I should say is the better word, because you definitely have a fan in me.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not the only one, man. My cousins, my fucking brother, they're like, whoa, dude, like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, dude, this is amazing. So with all that, you have this EP coming. Is there anything else you'd like to let the listeners know? Like, is just kind of look out for singles maybe, or like maybe a projected time for an album?
Mathcore Index is, well, by the time this comes out, I think the video would have already shot out. But Mathcore Index is going to be premiering a music video for the EP. It's for Rudolph, actually. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Then Metal Injection's going to be streaming the full thing on Monday. And I believe it's the first, I think, is what the actual date is. And oh no, it's the 30th. So yeah, look out for that on the 30th. And got shirts that are coming in with a sick design. Check that out. Got lathe cuts, which are basically vinyl cut into plastic for the album, for the EP coming out. Got some other projects I'm working on. I'm going to appear in a couple other compilations. Not really like able to say too much about it, but yeah.
Well, listeners, you heard the man himself tell you to make sure you definitely fucking check out his stuff. Metal Injection, that's big. That's
yeah.
dude.
I got their writer Chris. I think you pronounce his last name Ludka. Has been a fan of mine for a while, and he one day he just threw my stuff up on Metal Injection. I'm like, holy shit, where are these people coming from? And you can see on Bandcamp where people are coming from, and it was from his article. I was like, damn, dude, thank you so much. You know that's like him writing that is almost as big as actual release day, like in terms of trap.
Oh
so,
yeah,
like,
definitely. Yeah, so I applaud you for that, man. Congratulations on that, and like I said, congratulations on all your success and your continued success and everything. Can you let the listeners know exactly where to find you?
I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I am on Bandcamp, soundthatendscreation.bandcamp.com. I've got my podcast is goes live every Sunday and Wednesday at usually 7 p.m. If I'm interviewing somebody that's in Europe, it's 12 p.m. And you can find that at twitch.tv/thesoundthatendscreation. We're actually about to be able to turn on subs for that, so that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, right. But yeah, you can find either the Sound That Ends Creation or the Cast That Ends Creation. Again, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Yeah, I think that's about all the plugs.
All right, listeners. This has been a good one. I definitely appreciate you coming on, man. Definitely appreciate you hanging out and letting us know who the man behind the Sound That Ends Creation is. So I'm definitely excited for you. And until next week, guys. Or let's see, what's this one should drop on Monday, I believe. I said, I don't know, can't remember. I gotta fucking figure that shit out. But anyways, when this drops, definitely go check out his stuff. If I'm gonna be promoting the shit out of this, I'm super excited for this interview. So yeah, until next podcast, guys. See ya.